every one of you who is eager to learn English wants to concentrate on the fluency of speaking the language. I have been giving you videos based on my long experience of 45 years to make you fluent without depending too much on learning rules first. If you do these exercises, which I have been suggesting in each of the videos, now there must be hundreds of videos for fluency on this channel, which is the only channel which I'm uploading my own videos. The other channels have taken my lectures and they are uploading. But this is my own channel where I'm trying to help all of you. So today I thought I will give you another exercise, another practice session where if you practice like this, you will improve immensely. Remembering that unless you practice, you do not improve at all. All your improvement depends on the amount of practice which you do. Therefore, get ready. Today's practice is different from all the others which we have seen, because in every video I'm trying to bring in a new element of practice. Here, if somebody asks you to speak on a topic, which I have chosen some important quotations, 4 in number. If you watch all of them, then you will find that these are very helpful for us. Using that quotation, using those famous words of important people, you can practice. Suddenly, if somebody gives you a chance to speak, you don't know what to speak, they tell you choose your own topic. Then here I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you so many exercises where in your mind you will have this idea embedded, and without any preparation you will be able to speak fluently. But before that, please remember that you need to practice many times. That is why I keep telling you, watch the video as many times as you need. After you have watched, speak out all the ideas which you have gathered from this. Record yourself if you want to check how you have spoken, or stand in front of a mirror and speak. Once you do that, you can evaluate yourself. You can check what is the level and how good you are. Many of you are asking for, Madam, please correct my mistakes. If you depend on others to correct your mistakes, you will never become fluent. You must depend on yourself. First, find out what is right English, then keep practicing, embracing your mistakes, taking your mistakes as your teachers and learning from those mistakes. So let us begin now, one by one, 4 quotations, 4, memorable words which will not only help you to speak, but they will also help you in your journey of learning English. That is the kind of quotations I have chosen for today. So let us begin. Now you can see the first quotation on your screen. The person who has said these very important words is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. The words are, as long as I live, so long do I learn. Very important for all of us who want to learn something like you all want to learn English. But if you take it in any aspect of life, that is significant, because all of us have to keep learning all our life. We cannot stop learning by saying, today I have finished learning. That's not possible. When we have a quotation like this, first we try to understand the words. Clearly think about what the words mean. Then know a little about the person who has said this. So, do you know who is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? He was a famous saint of the 19th century Bengal. Today he is famous all over the world. Although he lived a short life, 1836 to 1886, 50 years. But he was like an encyclopedia of knowledge without having read a single book. As you know, a reading of the book and learning. That is not the way he learned. He learned from everything around him. So when we know this about Sri Ramakrishna, and we know that he had famous disciples like Swami Vivekananda, who says that I learned everything from my master, then we know what a great person Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was. Now you start looking at the quote. As long as I live, so long do I learn. Now what should you do with this? First you explain. You explain the quotation by saying that learning should be lifelong. Many of us think that learning is limited to a school or a college. We go to school, we learn. We go to a college, again we learn. Then we finish. I've got big degrees, so I need not learn anymore. That is not what the quotation is saying. The quotation is telling us that learning has to continue lifelong. This Sri Ramakrishna said in the 19th century. And today, in the great universities of the world, we are teaching something called learning skill. One of the soft skills, learning skill. So why are we teaching it? Because students should know that they have to learn lifelong. Ask a doctor. The doctor will tell you he's got a degree or she's got a degree, but every day they have to read up whatever new is coming in the field of medicine. Ask a teacher. We cannot teach based on what we learnt in school and college. Every experience teaches us. Every student teaches us something new. So we are learning all our life. All of you who are learning English, you must remember that you have to continue learning it. You cannot say I have finished learning, because you will find that there are many places where learning continues on and on. Therefore, keep in mind that learning is very important. I'll give you a simple example of another sage, very famous sage, and that is Sri Aurobindo. He was sent to England to study when he was a baby. So he learnt only English. He didn't know anything about India or Indian languages. When he was a grown-up person, he returned to India and he started working with a Maharaja in the western part of the country. There he learnt Sanskrit. He read all the books of Indian culture and everything. So he did not wait only for his school and college to teach him. He had finished school and college. Then he had come, he had taken up a job, but he was learning. In this way, we learn lifelong. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling us, and this is very important for us, because I may teach English or somebody else may be learning English. All of us have to continue learning for a long time, for the rest of our life, as long as we are alive. That is what the quotation says. In this way, thinking about the words, knowing a little about the person, and giving examples of real life situations for the quotation is what we speak about. That is the first example I have given you. Now we move to the second quotation, and that is, as you can see on your screen, England and America are two countries separated by the same language. This is said by George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw is a famous dramatist who wrote in English in the 20th century. He was an Irishman, but he wrote in English, and he is well known for his wit. Wit is where he's saying something with a lot of meaning that is hidden. I have already given you in the literature videos one of his drama, Saint Joan. If you want, you can see that, and that will also help you to improve your fluency. I have seen that many of you have written comments on that by saying that we learned so much by seeing Saint Joan. Two videos are there. Now today we have this quotation by him. He is talking about the English language, as you can see. The same language which is spoken in England and in America. But see how wittily he says that the same language separates the two countries. So try to understand this. I have told you first about Shaw, George Bernard Shaw, famous dramatist. Now I'm telling you about the quotation, the words which he has used. Two countries, one language should link them, but the language is separating them. He's trying to make fun by saying, see how many varieties of English language are there. Today, if he was there, he would have seen so many varieties of English. There is a beautiful play by him which you can read if you want to improve your pronunciation, that is Pygmalion. There also he speaks about language. Now, why is he saying this? Because there are many differences between American English and British English. England uses British English. That was the original mother tongue of that country alone. But then they conquered the world. They were colonizers who went to different parts of the world. How did we learn English? Because for 200 years, India was colonized by the British. Similarly, in America, the people in the 17th century, they started moving towards this new land, which was discovered by Columbus. So what are the differences that separate these two? As learners of English, you will enjoy this. There are words which are different. We say taxi for British English, which in American English becomes cab. So if you hire an Uber, then you say taxi in British English and cab in American English. But today, because more number of people speak American English, we are calling a cab everywhere. Similarly, a house is called flat. In a complex, you have one portion that is called flat. That is British English. Apartment, that is American English. Then you have differences in spelling. When you're typing on your computer, if you type COLOUR and your computer is fitted to US, then it will underline with red. Because American color is COLOR, but British color is COLOUR. Neighbor, NEIGH, BOUR. U is extra in British English. BOR, American English. Like that, there are many differences in spellings also. Some of the grammatical items are different. For instance, we say, I will meet you, British English. When we are talking American English, we say, I will meet with you. This is commonly heard. How are you? Usually British English, the answer used to be fine. Today the answer is good. How are you? Good. Or how are you? Fine. These are many differences. So why are there differences? Because when the people from Europe went and settled in America, they said that we should have an identity. We should be different from them who are living in Europe. So what did they do? They started making new dictionary, new ways of speaking, new ways of pronouncing, and many pronunciations. For instance, the word schedule. Schedule is the form which the Americans use. The Britishers would use schedule. These are differences. There are many like that. So you can see how important this quotation of Bernard Shaw is. He's making fun of the language, and he's also making fun of them by saying you speak the same language, but you speak it so differently that it keeps you away from each other. That was the second of our quotes. Now we have come to the third quote, as you can see on your screen. That is by S. Radhakrishnan, who was a great philosopher and who was also a person who had an important role in public life. On his birthday, that is 5th September, we celebrate Teachers' Day. All students greet their teachers on this day. The quotation which I have chosen, because he was a great educationist, he was also a vice chancellor, is about teaching. So he says, true teachers are those who help us to think for ourselves. Now I told you, when you see the quotation, think of the person who has said it. I told you already about S. Radhakrishnan. Many of you might know all about him. The second is that think of the words in the quotation. True teacher. Now, a person who's really a teacher, a person who's really a good teacher, what does that person do? That person doesn't hold your hand. That person makes you independent. Think for ourselves. That means independent. So a good teacher does not allow the students to depend on herself or himself. The teacher gives help and the student becomes independent. I have told you already that for a teacher, I have been a teacher all my life. For a teacher, the best thing is when the student becomes better than me. I taught at the highest level, university, MA, MPhil, PhD. If a student does better than me, I feel happy. I remember my own teacher telling me that the PhD thesis you have written has taught me many things. We learned from him, and he said I have taught him by writing that PhD thesis. So you can see what is the quality of a good teacher. A teacher who makes you independent. Now you can give many examples of this from your own life. Every day I get hundreds of comments on this YouTube channel. And many of you are saying that by watching regularly for a few months, we are improving. Now I'm not there with you. I'm only there on your screen, whether it is your phone or your laptop. I'm there with you only up to that point. But I'm not practicing English. I'm not taking classes. Many of you are asking, do you have online classes? No, I don't have. I'm very old, 7 years since I retired. I should be sitting back and waiting. But because of thousands of requests, I'm trying to help you to learn English. And we have had a good response in this 1 year. Just 1 year is complete. And therefore, what I would recommend is that you look at your own example and see how you have become independent in learning and improving. The more you become independent, the more you start thinking and planning, how will I improve my English? The videos are there to help you. More than 270 videos. Choose which you want to watch. Choose how much you want to watch. On a day when you're free, watch 5 videos 5 times. On a day when you're not free, don't watch anything. But watching is not enough. Practicing. Now, unless you think, unless you plan, you cannot do this. Radhakrishnan is telling us that each one of us has a teacher, no doubt, but we can be our own teacher. We don't need an external teacher. We ourselves become our teacher when we take external help like my videos I'm giving you. But finally, who's teaching you? You are teaching yourself by practice. With that, we finish this quotation also. Now we have come to the last of our quotes for this video. As you can see it on your screen, it says, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak." Listening is very important. I have given you many videos on listening. And this is said in the ancient times by a Greek philosopher, Epictetus. You can see the name also. In Greek philosophers, you have excellent quotations. Those are thousands of years old and they are still relevant today. If you look at some important quotes on how to speak, you will learn this. We have also beautiful Greek stories about how to learn to speak fluently. Even if you have a problem, we have the story of Demosthenes who was stammering. He could not speak properly. He would say for for t. He could not speak. Then he went to the seashore because the sea makes a huge sound. And in front of the sea, he put some small stones in his tongue, under his tongue, and started learning to speak slowly. Then he became one of the famous speakers. So speaking is very important. But for the basis of speaking, before we begin to speak, we should listen. This quotation shows you what you have. Why did God give 2 ears? And why did God give only 1 mouth? We could have had many mouths so that we could speak much. We could have had only 1 ear so that we could listen little. But most of us do not listen. The only way you can learn English is if you listen to English properly. I have given you many videos on listening, even a recent video on listening, because listening is so important. I also gave you the example of a newborn baby. Doesn't start speaking from the day of birth. Takes at least a few months or a year to first start speaking something properly. Takes about 4 or 5 years to speak the mother tongue correctly. What is the child doing? The child is listening. Unless the child listens, the child cannot speak. This also I gave you an example. Go to the old videos, you will find the story of Helen Keller. Helen Keller was a great person, but she was born deaf. She could not hear. And then she could not speak because she could not hear. And she was also blind because she had something in her, health problem, where she lost this. So deaf, dumb, blind, three difficulties. But she overcame all of them. She did not get eyes, but she could feel, and she learned to speak. All these things, and she learned how to, give lectures, and also many of her writings which you can read. So what did she do? Her teacher taught her how to listen, how to touch and feel, touch and see. This is how she learned. So what did she do? Again and again I've been telling you that listening is your first skill. So pay attention to listening, and once you listen to a lot of English for many months, suppose you go to another country where only English is spoken. In a month or two you will learn, because 24 hours you're hearing only English, no other language. You will learn immediately. That way, sitting at home, sitting in a country where English is not spoken, you can still learn if you listen double. So listen, if you listen for 10 minutes, speak for 5 minutes. That way, I told you, listen to the video, 20-minute video, and then speak at least for 2 minutes. So I'm giving you much lesser to start with. That is for beginners. But today I gave you these quotes to help you to speak in any situation. I keep telling you, practice speaking, practice fluency. You can ask me, what should we practice? Every video where I have given you concept of fluency, I have given you some practice. This video is entirely practice. I have shown you by giving you 4 important quotations from 4 different great people how you can speak on anything, giving your own examples if you know a little about the person and about the words which are spoken. Try it out and then let me know in your comments what you benefited, how you benefited, and what else you would like to do. Share the videos maximum. Many of you say, oh, these are wonderful, these are excellent. If you think they are really wonderful and excellent, then let more people benefit from my hard work. That is what I want all of you to do. Thank you and all the best.